Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope your day and your week are going well so far. We've got a new day, which of course means a new MLB Player Prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, make sure hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it means a lot to us. We have 5 picks in today's MLB slate, but first, let's do a quick little recap of how things have been going for us here on the video series. And on the year now, we are 54-34 on the season. If you see the thumbnail of the video and you've been following along for the past week, we have been red hot. We are on a 22-9 run. That's right, 22-9 run dating back to last Tuesday. So in the last week, we have won 22 out of 31 prop bets. We've been red hot here again, 54-34 on the year, so it's been pretty consistently good all season long, but of late, we have really been feeling it. My last video I did on Sunday, by the way, shout out to you guys for all the well wishes. My girlfriend had her surgery yesterday. Everything went well. She is home recovering. She thanks you guys for all the kind wishes and for taking it easy on me for not doing a video yesterday in the middle of our hot streak. But we are back today. On Sunday's video, we did go 4-1. I don't have a recap for that because that was a couple days ago, so I felt like it's a little late to do a recap, but we did go 4-1 on Sunday. We were 22-9 since last Tuesday, 54-34 overall on the season. Again, guys, 5 picks in today's slate. Let's keep the good times rolling. Let's keep the good vibes high. We're feeling good. We've been red hot. Can we keep it rolling into a second week? How long can this winning streak go for? We're going to find out today. 5 picks in today's slate. Let's dive right in. We are wasting no time at all, guys. Let's dive right into the Outlier screen. Shout out to Outlier. They're the best sports betting tool on the market. If you watch my videos, you know what Outlier can do for you. If you haven't watched before, stick around, check it out. Every video, I give you insight into how Outlier works. And I'm just giving you guys a fraction of what they offer. 7-day free trial in our link below. You go ahead, you try it out. If you don't like it, no cost to you at all. You cancel your subscription, it's over, and you have nothing lost. But I'm telling you guys, satisfaction guaranteed. You guys are going to love it. It's a great sports betting tool, especially with baseball season with so much analytics involved in it. It's really important to have a nice sports betting tool like Outlier. So 7-day free trial when you use our special link in the description below. Go ahead and check that out. All right, guys, so our first of 5 props in today's slate, we're targeting the Twins-Yankees game, 7:05 p.m. first pitch. We're going Aaron Judge over 1.5 total bases. We're getting that for minus 125 on DraftKings. However, it's available pretty much everywhere. You see Prize Picks, Underdog, DraftKings, Caesars, and FanDuel. Of course, DraftKings is my sportsbook of choice, but you guys can obviously use one of the other sportsbook if you choose. Always shop around for the best odds. Look at Aaron Judge here. 7 of the last 10 games, he has cashed this over of 1.5 bases, including each of the last 4 games. If you go ahead and stretch that data to the last 20, a 70% hit rate. 14 of his last 20 games, he has cashed the over. A pretty high average, too, of 3.65 total bases per game. Of course, you see he's had a couple of big games in there. 8 bases versus the Giants on May 31st. 10 bases versus the Twins on May 15th. So far this year, only a 48% hit rate. 29 out of 61 games has he cashed the over. He's averaging 2.36 total bases per game. But you see early in the year, there were a lot of misses. Of late, again, you see the data. He's been covering at a much higher rate over the last 20 games. And taking a look at the head-to-head data here, 6 of his last 10 games versus the Minnesota Twins, dating back, of course, to April of last season. He has cashed the over, averaging 2.9 total bases per game. When he faces off with the Minnesota Twins, of course, they have played 3 times already this year. He's cashed it 2 out of 3 times. He's gotten a hit in every game he's played the Twins this season. You see he had that big game on May 15th that I mentioned, a 4-0 win for the Yankees. He had 10 total bases. The last time they played on the 16th, he had 4 total bases. So a pretty good track record here for Judge versus the Twins. Now, looking down below at the splits, which I think is the most important thing I always talk about, you see Aaron Judge this year, a 288 batting average this season overall. Versus right-handed pitchers, it does slightly increase to 295. His BABIP goes from 321 to 324, so slight increases there. His ISO drops literally ever so slightly, and his extra base hit percentage drops ever so slightly. But again, 59.6% extra base hit percentage rate is really good here for Aaron Judge. And look at the pitch-up matchup down below with Bailey Ober of the Minnesota Twins. You see a 4.89 ERA overall. It does increase to 5.16 versus right-handed batters. 237 batting average allowed, does jump to 263 versus right-handed batters. Slugging percentage goes to 517. It's a pretty significant jump. And his extra base hit percentage does drop, but a 48.4 extra base hit percentage allowed versus right-handed batters is really high. So you have Judge on one side who has a almost 60% extra base hit percentage, and Ober on the other side who gives up nearly a 50% extra base hit percentage. What you get there is a perfect marriage, in my opinion. Although the Twins do have a top 10 bullpen in baseball in terms of the rankings, I think this is a really, really good matchup for Judge for him to get an extra base hit here or get multiple hits, whatever the case may be. I really do like this. And you look at here, Aaron Judge has exceeded 1.5 bases in 4 of his last 5 games at home, averaging 3.4 bases per game at home. So moral of the story, guys, really solid bet. And for minus 125 odds, you really can't beat it. All right, guys, our second prop of today's slate. We're coming from the Red Sox-Braves game, 7:10 p.m. first pitch. By the way, I know where this channel is growing, and it's kind of a small in size now, but although we are pretty big, I would say, over 75,000 subscribers. Shout out to you guys. But I will be at this Red Sox game tonight. If anybody who watches these videos would like to meet up, say hey, have a beer, whatever the case may be, I will be here tonight. It's Greek night at Fenway Park. So I will be at this Red Sox game tonight, Red Sox-Braves at 7:10 p.m. By the way, I might stay tuned. I might be releasing a special parlay because I'm going to be in the ballpark. Maybe I do a little YouTube short where I release a little Red Sox-Braves same-game parlay. We'll see. No promises. I'm kind of thinking maybe, while I'm at the stadium, maybe do a quick little YouTube short. Give you guys a quick little parlay. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I will be there tonight. So if anybody's going to the Red Sox-Braves game tonight, don't be afraid to give me a shout-out, and we'll go ahead and maybe meet up, say hello, have a beer, whatever the case may be. But Red Sox-Braves, 7:10 p.m. first pitch. We're going Garrett Cooper here, under 1.5 HRRs for the Red Sox. We're getting that for minus 135 on DraftKings, also available on BetMGM and on Underdog. He has cashed the under in 8 of his last 10 games for Boston. Pretty good. You stretch that to his last 20 games, still a 75% hit rate. 15 of his last 20 games, he's cashed the under, averaging 0.85 HRRs per game. And in 2024 so far, a 70% hit rate, 23 out of 33 games this season for the Boston Red Sox, he's cashed the under, averaging 1.09 HRRs per game. And taking a look at the head-to-head data here, the last 2 times he's faced off with the Atlanta Braves, he's cashed the under on May 7th and on May 8th. Both times he cashed the under. So pretty good numbers there for the under. We go down below to the splits. Now, at first, we see Garrett Cooper versus Max Fried, 18 plate appearances since 2018, a 286 batting average. Actually, Garrett Cooper's had some success versus Max Fried. You see no home runs, no RBIs, but he has had 4 hits off of him, 444 OBP. And you keep going down the splits here. You see 206 batting average this year, but versus left-handed pitchers, now it is a small sample size, but versus left-handed pitchers, you do see a 278 batting average, a pretty significant rise. He's significantly better hitting off of left-handed pitchers than he is right-handed pitchers. But I'm not too concerned because you see the data so far for Garrett Cooper this year. It's on our side, but also Max Fried, his numbers are incredible. 2.97 ERA this year with a 2.05 batting average, allowed fantastic season for Max Fried. But versus right-handed batters, with over 200 batters faced, so a pretty large sample size, it just gets better. 2.24 ERA, 144 batting average allowed, 0.3 home runs per 9 innings, 191 OBA. The data is fantastic. It's a great matchup here. I don't think Garrett Cooper's having a big game tonight. I'll be there in person to watch it firsthand. Hopefully this bet hits with me in person. I just don't see Garrett Cooper having a big day here for the Sox. And speaking of the Boston Red Sox, moving on to the third prop of today's slate, we're going Dodgers-Pirates, 6:40 p.m. first pitch. We're going Enrique Kike Hernandez for the LA Dodgers, under a half total base, which means we're basically saying he's not going to get a hit here. This is a plus money play. We're taking a swing here, no pun intended, plus 130 odds on DraftKings, plus also on Caesars for plus 118. He's cashed this in 7 of his last 10 games, averaging just 0.4 total bases per game. You go ahead to the last 20 games, 13 of his last 20 games, 65% hit rate, averaging 0.75 bases per game. And in 2024 so far, a 56% hit rate on this under. 25 out of 45 games this season, he's failed to cash the over. So really solid data here. You go down below here to the splits. Kike Hernandez at 198 batting average this season. Versus right-handed pitchers, that drops to 157. It's even worse. 192 BABIP. 0.043 ISO. His extra base hit percentage, 9%. Kike hasn't had a great year, but versus right-handed pitchers, it gets even worse. We move over to the dashboard screen. If you guys don't know what this is the MLB dashboard that Ev creates it from scratch. It's his own program that he creates. The only way you can access it is if you're a member of Guy Boston Sports. It's $2.99 a month. You get access to the dashboard. He updates it daily. You see here we got a bunch of our members already in here taking a look at the dashboard. Tons of great data. It's a great thing to pair with Outlier. It's just a good supplement. A lot of this data is also obviously available in Outlier, but this gives you a little bit more of a closer look than what Outlier can sometimes provide. So it's for $2.99 a month. It's a great little thing to have to give you guys some extra insight for your bets. So, for example, Outlier doesn't have the pitching matchup right now for Jared Jones' data for Pittsburgh, who is probably going to be on the mound for the Pirates tonight. A 3.55 ERA, but look at his numbers this season overall. A lot of green there. Obviously, Kike Hernandez being a right-handed batter, you look at the right side of the screen versus right-handed hitters, a 25.2% strikeout rate, just a 210 batting average allowed versus right-handed hitters, 4.7% walk rate. Across the board, really great data. So you combine that with the fact that Kike is not a very good hitter. Yeah, it's a pretty good prop for plus money. I like it a lot. All right, guys, 2 props left in today's slate. We just passed the 10-minute mark of the video, so comment 10 down below if you made it this far. As always, guys, I appreciate you guys watching through the entire thing. I know I always typically do the 10-minute mark. I probably should change it up so you guys just don't keep commenting 10 every video. But 10-minute mark in the video. Appreciate you guys again. As always, the link for the picks will be in the description down below to go ahead and follow along with today's picks. Very simple. It'll be right there. You click on the link. It takes you to the pick page. Very easy to follow along. I know I don't do the pinned comment like Ev. I actually think this is probably a little bit easier. So go ahead and check that out. All right, guys. 4th prop of today's slate. We got Reds-Rockies, 8:40 p.m. first pitch. We're going Sean Bouchard of the Colorado Rockies under 1.5 HRRs. That's coming from -140 on DraftKings. Also available on BetMGM and on Underdog. And again, the data is fantastic. 8 of his last 10 games, he has cashed the under, averaging 1.1 HRRs per game. It's still pretty solid. If you stretch the data out to the last 20 games, still a 70% hit rate. 14 of his last 20 games, he's cashed the under, averaging 1.35 HRRs per game. In 2024 so far, a 71% hit rate. 17 out of 24 games this year, he has cashed the under, averaging 1.33 HRRs per game. And look at the head-to-head data. The one time he's faced off with the Reds this year being, of course, last night. He did have a hit last night, but no runs and no RBIs in what was a 13-3 win for Cincinnati. And scrolling down below to the splits here, you see Sean Bouchard at just a 206 batting average here. Not fantastic. Only 81 plate appearances, however. Versus right-handed batters, essentially the same. Right-handed pitchers, excuse me. Essentially the same thing. It goes to 204, slight decrease. But overall, that is not fantastic. But for Frankie Montez, looks pretty good. 4.60 ERA versus right-handed batters that drops to 3.68, which is nice. 259 batting average allowed, but it does drop to 220 versus right-handed batters. Again, very nice. Across the board, you see a lot of green here. His numbers improve significantly versus right-handed batters. So that's what you like to see here, especially against a hitter that's not hitting the ball all that great to begin with. I like the under here. All right, guys, and for the 5th and final prop of today's slate, we have our second plus money play of the day. We're going Giants-Diamondbacks, 9:40 p.m. first pitch. We're going Michael Conforto over 1.5 HRRs. We're getting it for plus 100 on DraftKings. Also a plus money play on BetMGM. On Underdog and Prize Picks, it is a minus play, but it is available there. Data at first glance, not great. 4 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 1.8 HRRs per game. He has a couple big games there. For the most part, though, you do see a lot of red. However, if you look at the season total, it's not that bad. 49%, just shy of 50%. He's averaging 2.03 HRRs per game. 19 out of 39 games this year, he has cashed the over. You see a lot more cashes early on. Of late, it's been a little less consistent, but he's a solid player. He's hitting the ball decently well this season, despite this. You look down below, a 280 batting average on the year. Really, really good. Versus left-handed pitchers, though, although small sample size, it increases significantly to 316. So really good data there for Michael Conforto. He's having a good year, 280 batting average, 316 versus left-handed pitchers, so it does increase. And again, referring back to the MLB dashboard, looking at Arizona's pitcher for tonight, the projected pitcher, Blake Walston, although his ERA is at 2.16 versus left-handed hitters, you see a lot of red. Now, everywhere else you see versus right-handed hitters, a lot of green. It looks pretty good. But versus left-handed hitters, he has struggled this year. And going back to Michael Conforto, spoiler alert, he is a left-handed batter. Really good matchup there. 4.5 whip. Straight red across the board here. A 667 batting average allowed versus left-handed hitters. Now, the sample size, I'm assuming, it's got to be very, very small for that high of a batting average allowed. But the point being that so far, it's kind of struggling. Kind of a struggle. So, yeah, like I said, probably a very small sample size. I don't have that number for me right on the top of my fingers right now. But the point being, it looks like it's a really, really solid matchup for us here. Plus money play, a guy who's been hitting the ball really well all year long. I like the spot here for Michael Conforto. All right, guys, so there we go. This is the page. When you click the link down below for the picks, this is the page we'll take you to. There are all 5 picks from today's slate. You see down below, only 1 available on FanDuel, but on DraftKings, all 5. Caesars has 2 out of 5. BetMGM has 3 out of 5. And again, this is not, you don't have to bet this as a parlay. These are straight bets. If you want to bet them as a parlay, you can go ahead and do that. But it is not necessary. Prize Picks Underdog, you see there what's available. If you parlayed all 5, it would be plus 2,371. Hey, you never know. Sprinkle a little money on it. But it is not meant to be bet as a parlay. You're meant to bet them straight up. But they can be put together as a parlay if you choose. Guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. I will be back tomorrow with another MLB Player Prop video. Until then, I hope we're all winners. Have a good one, guys. And again, if you guys are in the Boston area, you're at the Fenway Park. If you're at the Fenway Park, at the Fenway Park. If you're at Fenway Park tonight, Red Sox, Braves, go ahead and give me a shout out, and maybe we can meet up, say hello, have a beer, whatever the case may be. But guys, I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.